Let's make it brief so that others can speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you, Madam Gbowee, for your efforts in bringing about peace in Liberia yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I have suggestions. I mean, in the future, we'll be able to say more to these suggestions. One of the things that I see us Liberians lack in many instances, we need to build nationalism. I mean, we don't have nationalism. You know, common example, you see the women are always united. If a woman walks out there naked, you will see the number of lapper that will be taken out there to help that woman to make sure that, you know, she's concealed. Men will stand and just laugh. The second aspect I need to speak about is raising the living standards of individuals in our own country. How can we help one another? How can we feel the pain of others? Respecting cultural and religious boundaries. I mean, you can't take out religion. You can't take out the cultural values of individuals. So these are issues that we need to be looking at. We also have to continue the dialoguing like Madam Gbowee just said. We need to dialogue even in our homes with our children. We can't get tired dialoguing. You can't stick to one thing and say you can't change. You need to listen to other people. We need to listen to each other. We also need to be accountable. Accountability lacks in every fiber of our society. We need to be more accountable if we are to succeed as Liberian. If we are to develop our country, we need to be more accountable. We also need to reduce the rate of idleness of our youth. Just like she stated, you can't have the youth around being very idle. We have to improve the standard of our youth. We have to open opportunities for them. Sometimes most of us, the kind of way we make statement regarding the youth is sometimes wrong because we don't even ask them, how do you do? How are you feeling? What's your situation? But we have so many ways of interpreting what they do in our community. I want to thank you so much.
Yeah, from you. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Che Talu. I live right here on Staten Island. What I would suggest to your committee is to encourage the government and the political environment in Liberia to be fair. When I say fair, I mean during the heat of the war, I was 14, 15 years old, and the most despicable thing that we heard when we were in the refugee camp was that Prince Johnson and his allies decapitated the president of Liberia. It was on CNN, it was all over. A few minutes ago, you said 300,000 people died in Liberia. I pulled out my phone and I said, let me pretend, you know, and say we have a population of 4 million people. 300,000 is about 7.5% of the population. Now, let me come back to my statement about people being fair in the political arena. Charles Taylor is in The Hague facing war crime, you know, basically for what started in Liberia and into Sierra Leone. George Bulley is incarcerated here. But strangely, Prince Johnson was allowed to be on the ballot. He was one of those that contributed to the death of 7.5% of the Liberian population. Like George Bulley, like Taylor, like a bunch of other people. I don't think that guy should have been allowed to be on the ballot. It was wrong. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. It's a real honor to be here and to be in this environment. I happen to have seen, not in front of, excuse me. I happen to have seen the documentary. I'm a Native American, but my friend is from Liberia, and I was so touched. So she knew that if she didn't invite me here today to see you, I would be real angry with her. My suggestion is this, because I was so impressed with you ladies and what you did, is that everything has to start with youth. Everything, why? Because we're all what they call here in America old hats. I feel that because of what you did, you've shown such determination, such strength, and such courage, is that your youth need to know all about everything that this country has done even before this happened. The good and the not so good, so that they can know what their foundation is, so that they can know where their strength comes from. And so that this way they can build on what has already been the foundation that has been laid, so that they want to grow up and they want to take courses and they want to learn how to make the hospitals better. They want to learn how to make the politicians better. They want to learn how to make education better. So I feel that everything has to start with the youth, and this, for you to show them that this happened, and this reconciliation is a part of healing, and that they will be an active part in there, just like that man said, to bring them in to be a part of this healing, so that they know whatever they did, if they were a part of it, it's okay. We can move forward to a better day. Thank you.
Excuse me. My name is Emmanuel Newman. I would like to welcome Madam Gbowee to Staten Island. My question has to do with the TRC. What is the relationship between the TRC and that of your job as the chairperson of Peace and Reconciliation? Should there be prosecution for those that committed heinous crimes against our people? And as the funding from the TRC, can there be reconciliation without justice? Thank you very much.
I will endeavor to answer your question. We recognize the one thing that in all of our consultations, even in the diasporan community, let's recognize that when the TRC report came out, because of the controversy around the report, we as Liberians have never really gotten to the place where we say we accept or we reject this report. That's the first thing. The second thing is, by law, the Independent Human Rights Commission is the only entity who is responsible to implement the TRC, the findings or the recommendations of the TRC report. But you also need to understand, like I earlier said, the TRC was 2 years. Some events have overtaken the TRC report. For example, the example I gave of Leymah County is one. If you read through that report, you will now find division of Leymah in there. But it is now the most pressing issue for reconciliation in that county. So whilst the TRC has a lot of other things that the Independent Human Rights Commission must do, our role, I think, is to, not I think, but there is political kind of reconciliation that has to be taking place. The one thing area we must work on is the whole area of memorialization. Liberians have never had a day where someone has said sorry in the leadership of our country. Now from Sawyer time to Judy Bryant time to who time to the President Sirleaf time, no one has stopped to say sorry. We have never had a day where we will go to where they kill everyone to say we are memorializing people that died. November 29, we had something just to diffuse the tension called the Peace and Reconciliation Jamboree in Monrovia. We invited all of those who were elected from CDC, from Unity Party, went to that place, and I never knew the history of that particular place. As we sat and the program went on, the Minister of Youth and Sports then, Edmonia Tape, whispered to me, Leymah, every time I come, one of our political leaders went on stage to speak. And she said, wow, this is a moment for me. And then I said, why? She said, do you know the history of this place? We are having this jamboree. And I said, no. She said, this is the exact spot they executed the 13 after the coup. I did not know. Right now, they've built a mini stadium to that place. She said, but you see that leader standing up there talking? The only image I constantly have of him is him looking amongst those bodies to see who are living and calling the soldiers to kill them. Then I said to myself, wow, we have a long way to go. That's one. So, some of those things are in the TRC report. The Independent Human Rights Commission has the mandate to do. Some of those things are not in the TRC report. And also, let me not sound like a pessimist or someone who has come to take the wind out of people's sail. The TRC report has its flaws. Whilst it's very good, it has its flaws. The report said the government shall implement. There is no mention in that report of which government. Go back to the report. The government. This government can say, I am not the government. Another government could come and say, I am not that government. So if everyone keeps passing it on, does it mean we will not do reconciliation? I think that's where I come in. So am I making sense to you? That's one. Two, I do not support impunity. If I stand here and say I support impunity, I would be one of the biggest hypocrites because of the work and the advocacy I've done in every part of the world, including Liberia. But one of my biggest advocacy, most times when I sit with people, and the other time I was with the ICC people, one of the chief prosecutors, and I almost got into a verbal fight. The question was, whose justice? And the timing. We see people from World War II still being prosecuted today. Someone raised the issue of Prince Johnson. Every valiant, in your opinion, is a hero amongst his people. And that's the situation of Liberia. Tomorrow morning you wake up, you say, we're carrying Prince Johnson to jail. They give people there and they see him as their hero. But does it mean that he should go scot-free? No. But the timing. That's one. The second thing about justice is, as they cut these people off to the different prison, Taylor is in prison for crimes he committed in Sierra Leone. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth they're using to prosecute this case. Meanwhile, you have a whole generation of amputees who have not received a dime. We'll come back to your question, is that justice? As the team from UNDP came to Liberia, and some of the things they were picking out, that was one of the biggest challenge for reconciliation in Liberia. Reconciliation versus justice. Timing, the whole thing of who's going to face it, when is it going to happen, how is it going to happen, do we have the structure? All of those things are questions that we need to ask ourselves. But even as I say this, it doesn't mean that people should go scot-free. But we need to really tread very carefully as we look at some of these things. Because you may be eager to take someone to The Hague. And then as you're taking that person, is it that one person going to The Hague, is it worth burning this community again? You need to weigh all of those things. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay. Thank you. We have, yeah. My sister, you carrying the
Just one, two. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Ms. Bowen, for this kind of gathering, for coming here to come and show us or tell us what we need to do to improve our country. First of all, my name is Oliver Jezora, and I'm standing here as a videographer and maybe I'm talking on behalf of all the photographers that may not be recognized here, also the videographer. Well, I went to Liberia to go bury my grandmother after a few years of staying here. And what I saw is the same thing that when I was there, I did not saw change. Okay, it was that the children, most of us in school, we are not taught about our resource in the country. So because of that, most of us just want to get out of the country because we can't find no way to make that sustainable for our country. Whereas the youth, and like what you just stated, the diamonds, the gold, the oil that have been discovered that is there, that a lot of people are working. If you go find out, now most of the youth and brothers and sisters are knowing or learning how to do that. When I was there, I remember meeting a girl, and the only girl that told me that she was doing forestry. Other than that, everybody doing accounting. How can a job be there for everybody? And you understand? And secondly, when I came here, I saw a lot of things that could improve, but I'm not trying to compare Liberia with America. But I think the only development, like you said, like the other people just said, that the youth need to be involved. Children that are 18, 19 years old in school, they give you opportunity to work in some of these places. So that alone can make them to focus, to be able to say, I want to be in this organization or I want to work for the company. But most especially what I'm saying is that I think it's advisable that I'm just suggesting that if and only our brothers and sisters in there will be able to learn about their resource. When I was in school, I didn't learn. The only thing I learned was saving Liberia. That's it. But they didn't teach us most, especially about our resource for us to be able to do it. So I think that's why I think is most important to the reconciliation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me rephrase the question a bit, because time is running. One of the things that we are hoping we can get out of here is the question, what role will you play? Not what they will play. What is the role of the diasporan community for national reconciliation in Liberia? What commitment will you make here? What actions will follow from this exercise that will create a platform in the diaspora for reconciliation? You know, that's a question we are hoping we can get from here, because we've been lamenting for 165 years. It is people stepping out and acting that makes, that makes the difference. If you step out and act. So that's how I want to phrase the question. And I hope we can get, yeah.
Yes, Sister Leymah Gbowee, am I pronouncing your name correctly? My name is Al Peters, and I'm from the African village of Harlem, USA. So I am an African American. My question to you is this. About 2 years ago, I had an honor to videotape Madam President when she came here. And to my surprise, after doing that, I got some responses from other members of the Liberian community that was a bit upset that she came here. Now, as an African American who is conscious and love the fact that I was kissed by the sun, how do I communicate Liberian needs with respect to the diaspora as we properly educate our brothers and sisters here in America to support the efforts here in Liberia with an understanding of a sensitivity and a cultural sensitivity that will put us on the right side as opposed to putting us on a political awkward side?
Thank you. We'll have she will address the question, but let's take a few more. Yes, please.
Thank you for recognizing my name is James Davis. My problem with Liberia is as follows. I've been protesting against Liberian government from 1974 to 2000 to 1980. And all my colleagues that I protested with, they went into authority. And when they went into authority, they forgot about what we said here, the agenda that we had here for Liberia to move forward. They forget because they are in authority, so they're up in the air. They forget. The child stood up by the grace of God and he stayed right where he is. He and I protested here for change. Sally Johnson, she and I protested. But the problem is, we that are here need to be unified. I said it to the President Brown the other day. When people come from Liberia as official, usually we need to meet with them and discuss with them. He took that and threw in the garbage. We need to talk to those people. They are in authority. The government need to listen to the people that put them into authority, not ignore them. We are not garbage. We put them there. They need to listen to us when we speak. That's what I learned in America. American government senators listen to the people that put them there. They don't call them garbage. So you need to listen to us. Madam, I drove Garland Street and Benson Street. I went right into, because I heard a rumor, so I said, let me go and see for myself. I drove and I sat down in my car. There's a club they get around the left-hand side, Rich in Hell. There all the minister goes and recruit little girls. Amen? There they go. I almost commit a crime. All right? My own man that was protesting with me yet for change, he over there recruiting little girls. Is that the job? We need to bring these people back. We need to get together and do something about this issue so that when our people go home, so they can listen to us and do the right thing. Because you must remember, where there is no justice, there will never be no peace. You talk about peace. Where there is no justice, there will never be no peace. We need the government to listen to us and bring people to justice for what they do in office. Thank you.
Hello? Please, can you turn the mic over? Turn that mic back. Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, Leymah. Good evening, Leymah. I want to take this time to congratulate you and to extend my thanks and appreciation to Abigail Disney, because your documentary was reviewed here before it made it on the world stage. Reconciliation. We have come back to the same place. Before the reconciliation document went anywhere, it came to Staten Island, right on our stage. And I asked the presenter that was presenting the whole process to the Liberian community in Staten Island. I asked them one question: where are you starting from with the reconciliation? Because we have 18 wars in Liberia, including this great war. And she said, it was a lady, we'll start from 1978. I said, trust me, if you start from 1978 with reconciliation, I'm going to quote Bishop Gibson, that's cosmetic resolution. We'll be back here again. My suggestion is, we have two ways of life in Liberia: the Western way and the traditional way. And all over the continent of Africa, every time when the United Nations goes to Africa for peace, they use the Western way of resolution. As soon as they leave, the Civil War return. Madam Gbowee, you and Ellen stood side by side from a different background. Yes, we are all Liberians. So my suggestion to you today is, one, have a focus group based on the Western way of resolution. Two, based on our traditional way of resolution. Three, we have identity crisis in Liberia. One is American Liberian, and what is country or traditional. The ethnicity of Liberia, the different ethnicity. Kran, Grebo, as you went to the different counties, those have to be addressed. So again, I'm going to repeat the three things: the identity crisis, the issue with the war. Our first war we had was in 18. We had our first coup d'etat. Some historians say 1871, and some say 1870. So we need to find out where we're going to start from. 1978 will come right back. So as I say again, the traditional way of resolution and the Western way, so that the reconciliation process will not be a cosmetic resolution.
Good evening, Madam Leymah Gbowee. My name is Eva Yiboti, and I am a Liberian. I've been in this country since 1990. And I'm just here to say that I'm a daughter of Liberia. I have not become a citizen because I still want to be a part of my country and go back home to contribute what I know. Since I've been in this country, I have sacrificed and worked so very, very, very hard, like my mother taught me, because my mother has 10 children, and she told her children that I'm not going to spoil you because when I'm older, I want to live everywhere. I want to have a house in every child's house, and that's what my mother has now. I brought almost 30 refugees from the refugees camp, and Eva Yiboti, standing here, own 25 houses in the United States of America. And as a daughter of Liberia, I'm here to tell you today that I'm willing to work with my country people to build my country. Because when I went to Liberia in February 2011, I cried. We have to go back home. We have to sacrifice. Liberians, we have to work hard. We have to be honest. We have to respect ourselves. Because if you're honest and you respect yourself, you wouldn't be looking for a short-term satisfaction. Okay, I started from scratch. I came here with nothing. And today, I got Italians working for me. I got Irish working for me. I got Jewish people working for me. Mrs. Gbowee, I stand here today to take $2,000 of my personal check. I don't know who name is supposed to be in. So we can put it towards a reconciliation, because we are Liberians. I'm a Liberian girl, and everywhere I go, this is how I am. Everybody, oh, you're sharp dressed, you're this, because I know I'm a Liberian girl. And all our Liberian girls, that's what we are. We are dressing people. So when we go to when we take someone from here and take them to our country, it should be like what we are here. So I am here, standing here before you, that I am willing to work, and anytime you need me, you call me, I can give you my phone number. I'm a very hard-working and progressive Liberian lady, and I'm willing to build my country in any way possible. I can go anywhere, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, and I can penetrate anything, and I'm willing to work. We gotta build our country. It must be.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's take from you.
Hi, my name is Maureen Edie, and I like to say I'm a Liberian. A Liberian, tribe not matter. No matter what tribe I am. Liberian first. There is no land pure or impure. It starts with our hearts and our minds. Okay? And I'm willing to say to you today, I'm going to work with my family. I'm coming back home to do what I have to do to teach the young people. You know, worked in the garment district for several years. I can go back and we can do manufacturing. We can teach young men and women how to make clothes so we can have jobs for people there. It will start with me, okay? Me first.
My name is Moses Kamara. I worked with the Liberian government for 18 years before coming in the States. I worked with the Liberian government for 18 years before coming in the States. But our problems here, we got two places that got problems. One in America, two in Liberia itself. The people that live here, they're creating the serious problem for Liberia over there. The people that live here and went to school here, they're creating serious problem for Liberia home. One, enviousness and jealousy and cruelty is the one we have created for ourselves. Secondly, greed of power. You want power? Go back home and look for your power there. They sit here and incite people from back home. Those are the things, madam, you need to talk about. Those are the things we need to talk about. And 2 months ago, we were in D.C. We went to see one congressman, and we told the congressman that, look, we're tired with this. Every little nonsense that comes from here, it affects our country. It affects our people. So those of them that have learned here who want politics, let them go back home. If anyone who sit here and start inciting the people, please send them back home. Let them go there and go fight for their politics. But not here. So please, let's talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just looking at the time, and we have to end by 7:40. It's unfortunate in other places we do 10 hours, but again, because we all work and it's a long weekend, 1-2 minutes will be fine. Just give us what is it that we can do in this diasporan community to foster reconciliation here and in Liberia.
Aurelia Curtis. I'm involved in education here on Staten Island, and I've had the opportunity to visit Liberia 4 times in the last year. I saw, and I continue to see, the great need for reducing the economic divide in Liberia. It is much more apparent having lived away and visiting the last 4 times in the last year. Creating opportunities for young people to get an education and get jobs. I see the educational system in Liberia having multiple standards, and if we can find a way to have compulsory education in Liberia, I'm telling you, I'm in education, K to 6. Let the government decide that it will do education well for a certain group of people. They can't do it for everybody. I know there's community colleges all over the country. Well, if you don't have good high schools, you're not going to have good colleges. If you don't have good intermediate schools, you're not going to have good high schools. If you don't have good elementary schools, you're not going to have good intermediate schools. And the one thing that struck me so much as I went through Monrovia was the huge fences that people build around their properties. To me, the very presence of those large fences that look like stockades almost signals a sense of distrust. And as long as people continue to build their homes in Monrovia or anywhere else for that matter, with those huge fences that kind of say, I'm in here and you're out there, the sense of unity will never be there. I know there's some security issues involved, but I think that's an ever-present reminder that there is distrust and reconciliation isn't apparent.
Thank you. 2 minutes.
Hi, Ms. Bowen. I'm Iola Washington. I would like to say, how can we move on with reconciliation? Can we move on with our love? Can we move on with our forgiveness? I think we should start to practice love and forgiveness. As long as we continue to hold on to the past, we will not move forward. As long as we continue to hold on to hatred, we will not move forward. I don't care what we do, we'll never move forward with our love and forgiveness. So we need to work on that first.
Thank you.
Good evening, Your Honorable Leymah Gbowee. I am one of your #1 supporters. My name is Hananatu Tunis. You're Miss Liberia in the U.S. 2008, Miss Africa USA First Princess, and Miss Eula. Both of my parents are here in the Staten Island community, and as Liberians here in the Staten Island community, I can honestly say that we are on the road towards reconciliation, because I have been one of those people that they have shown a significant amount of support to. I am a youth, and I represent the youth in the Liberian community, and I'm a living testimony that this community has been inspiring me. If we continue to do that for all of the young people by developing workshops that's geared towards leadership skills, educational programs, like Mrs. Curtis said before, we will be able to look forward to building a better Liberia in the future and overcoming our challenges. Right now, as a current St. John's University student, my mission is to empower girls everywhere by influencing the realization of their self-worth, undying strength, massive potential, and inner beauty, while bringing them together to learn, strive, and achieve. I am telling you, I have had the support and the backing of my community. If we continue to support each other, we'll be able to move forward. If there is division, we cannot move forward and reconcile. I am telling you, as before I leave and sit down and take my seat, I, for one, am always willing and ready to help with the reconciliation of Liberia and to do what I need to do as an individual to make sure my people are unified, becoming educated, and overcoming their challenges. Thank you.
Madam, I applaud you. I admire you. I read your book, and I'm very proud of you as a Liberian, a strong Liberian woman. This community, as you have said, to offer you suggestions about what we can do. I can assure you that this community, Staten Island, our Staten Island community, Liberian community, is a very strong community. But we are very envious of one another, and we do not support one another. Okay. What this child has said, I was about to say it, but if you heard what she said, that was what I'm trying to reiterate. My advice here, or my suggestion here, is that you go around if you have the time, or come back and visit other boroughs or other Liberian communities and do the same sit down and get suggestions. But notwithstanding, you spoke here, but I did not hear you saying anything about the laymen, the uneducated people in Liberia. Please try to get them involved in this process, because those are our strengths. The people that are in the interior, the people that are in the villages, those are our strengths.
Thank you. The first place I did my 3 consultations was Zwedru, Ganta, and Banga. So we definitely understand that. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, madam. So again, I will also suggest that during this process, which is reconciliation, there are a lot of us in this country that have come here and educated ourselves from scratch and want to go back home to contribute our quota to our country. But we are being hindered by the fact that those that have gone, we have children that have come here that have been here since 8 years of age. They went to college, some 12 years they went to college, they got master's degree. Those are people that want to go back home, even though everything does not revolve around education. But sometimes we have something called the revolving door. And as a social worker, I want to encourage you to have some psychological effect put in place, whereby people will be rehabilitated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's take the next 2 minutes, please.
Just a minute, Madam Gbowee. Now we will have to time ourselves because we have to leave from here. 2 minutes. Then after 2 minutes, I'm going to come out here and cut you off. 2 minutes.
Good evening, Honorable Gbowee. My name is Prince Bestman. I did not come here to ask questions. I actually came to listen to you because I felt amused by your ascendancy to the Nobel Peace Prize winner. But since you asked for input, I would just like to say that reconciliation starts with healing the wounds. Once the wounds are healed, then you can get to. And I experienced the Liberian Civil War personally. And there are 3 tribes that are actually affected by the war. I'm not from any of those tribes, but I was there with them. The Kwan, the Mandingos, and the Gills. So once you get to those 3 tribes, then of course Liberia will be on track. I want to thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Let's take from the other. Thank you. Can we stick to time like Mr. Bestman? Sir, you have the floor.
Good evening, Madam Gbowee. My name is Hassan Fofana. I am one of the great descendants of King Sao Boso. I'm originally from the Mandingo ethnic tribe in Liberia. Prior to what you have just stated, I would like to just make a brief statement pertaining to about the reconciliation process in our country. I think we have 2 major problems in America or in the diaspora, and that are the tribalism and the religious affiliation that we have, because those are the 2 things that brought the war in Liberia. However, during your explanations, you contemplated about establishing national reconciliation throughout the whole of Liberia. But I would like to know from you, what plan of actions do you have or your organizations have in order to bring permanent reconciliation in terms of tribalism and religious affiliation into our country, Liberia, beloved country?
Thank you so much. Let's take, and I will answer those questions as we conclude. Yes, sir. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam. Welcome in Staten Island. I just have a suggestion. We're talking about peace and reconciliation in Liberia. However, first, before we have any kind of peace, we have to respect one another first as Liberians. If we respect one another in Liberia, even in the diaspora here, we'll be able to live side by each other and move on better. But what we Liberians lack of is one self-respect. We don't respect ourselves and we don't respect one another. Even our leadership, we don't have a leader even in here in Staten Island, leader for the people. We don't have no leader for the people. We have people that are trying to contest for leadership because of their self-empowerment. Self-empowerment leading us into destructing our community. The leadership we have here right now in Staten Island, instead of bringing the people together, they're trying to go into leadership because they want to contest for higher leadership in Liberia. And if we have a leader, as you won the Nobel Peace Prize, I watched the documentary and I said to myself, wow, that lady really doing something for the people. You did it for the people, not for yourself. You went on the street, you slept on the street for the people. If we have people like you that are willing to do things for the people, not for themselves, forget about your own empowerment. Think about empowering the other people. If you have people like that, then Mr. Teddy that's sitting right there, if he put himself in your shoe, bring the people, work for the people, forget about yourself, it will be good for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Reverend James Bestman. I'm the president for the Liberian Cultural Association and also a presidential candidate for Liberia in next election. Recognize. Recognize. Recognize, please. For us to do this reconciliation, it's going to start from here first. And my recommendation is the Liberian Community Association, in collaboration with all the churches, got to meet with me where we all have to sit down and reconcile. Then we can call another town hall meeting. on this. There will not be no reconciliation. Believe it or not. I want for you, madam, to tell President Salif that Reverend Bestman, I have a great contribution for that country, and what you're doing, I can help. If you guys can contact me. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Please, let's go ahead.
I just came here to say thank you to Mrs. Ball for what you did for my country and for my people. Because people say, I'm not from that tribe, I'm not from that tribe. But I'm a Liberian. Every tribe that in Liberia, they are my people. Thank you for saving my people. And God will lead you. He will protect you. Because you are second roof, according to the book of Ruth. I thank you. God will protect you. I love you.
Thank you, man.
Praise the Lord. Before I say anything, I just want to take the time to say thank you. I watched the documentary on Channel 13. I hadn't even heard your name or heard anything about you until I watched that documentary. But that documentary made me proud to have a Liberian such as yourself, to literally put your life on the line to bring peace to our country. So I want to take that time to say thank you. And as you go into this reconciliation process, President Salif is not going to be there forever. The next person who coming, is that person going to embrace you to be in the forefront of this reconciliation process? From now until the time the next government takes over, what are you all going to do to make sure that the peace process continues? The problem we're having, it didn't just start with the war. It started from a long time ago. I've been in America for a while. I haven't been back, unfortunately. I haven't been back home for a while. Okay. I will try to be as quick as possible. But when I look at it in America here, the greatest asset the country have is unity. That's an asset that is greater than the atomic bomb. Our people, we hate each other. We don't love one another. Even before the war started, when people traveling abroad, they will keep it a secret. Because the next man will say, oh, I'm not the one making progress. You are making progress. I'm going to go to Pangman and I'm going to try to bring you down and I'm going to try to stop you. They will make it abroad first before they will call back and tell their loved ones and tell their friends, oh, I'm abroad, to make sure that nobody stops them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's
I have more to say, but
I know, Papa. We got
Hello, my name is Olivia Elliott. Speakers before me have already said most of what I was going to say, but just to reiterate, we as Liberians need to respect one another for peace to take place. We need to respect and love and stop biting one another, because even in this room it's going on, and peace cannot happen if we keep the same attitude. We need to forget about the past and try to move forward. 1, 2, Liberians and especially youth needs to be encouraged to go to school. I in school, as young as I am, I'm still in school. And one thing, for peace to happen in Liberia, the people in government in Liberia have to be ready to encourage or accept things from on their side. Just to bring up a point, I hope I don't take up all the time. I worked for a laboratory in this country. I've worked for 11 years, and they were talking about extending to other countries. And fortunately, being from Liberia, I was there, and I suggested Liberia for them to have a lab in Liberia. I tried contacting people. I contacted the lady who's heading the JFK laboratories, spoke to her. She gave me encouraging words. She was excited. I connected her to the guy in charge of international businesses, and he spoke to her, sent me a copy of the email. He said, this lady wasn't as enthusiastic as you said she was, because she's so concerned about us giving them instruments, giving them this, giving them that. And we're trying to go and establish over there. So that's some of the problems we have. I'm in school. I'm trying to educate myself so I can go back home. I don't want to be here, but how can you go back home to help the country if the people over there are not willing to accept or receive the help? So they need to be willing. When people try to do stuff, they need to try to accept it. I was very disappointed and embarrassed. I was really embarrassed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Madam Gbowee, I am very honored to be here today for two reasons. One, because I respect you. You have inspired me, and I just think that you are indeed a queen. And what I'm here to say today, I'm in representation of the organization that I am an administrative consultant and a communications consultant for. I work on the board of this organization. It's the For Real Women International organization. And what we're about is inspiring women who have been oppressed. We are about inspiring the youth to make changes within our communities. And the reason why I'm here is not only to let you know that we have been using you as an inspiration. You're actually on the front cover of our book. The reason for that is because we started a radio show. As a matter of fact, it was over about a half hour ago. I was supposed to be on that radio show, but I heard you were here. That radio show, we dissect your book. We use it as an inspiration for our young people that are within our organization so that they can know that they also are a part of their community and they can do something about the things that are happening within their community. The reason why I'm here today is because we also do a lead program to help the young people go out there and show that they are indeed leaders and they can make changes within our community. And we would like to have your insignia on that.
Talk to Anya. Anya, please grab her. Time is not our best friend, so just move on the side. Talk to Anya. We'll work it out.
Okay.
Sign your book. I'll sign it.
Yes, I definitely want you to sign my book.
All
but what we're really here is that we really like your insignia on our leadership program within our community.
Talk to Anya. Thank you. Can we, because we'll be finished by 1:45, so quickly. Yes.
All right, thank you, Honorable Gbowee. I think the question that I want to address from you is how can we bring reconciliation here in Staten Island to us here that will impact Liberia. I think one of the areas in which I could suggest is the encouragement of professionals to come together on Staten Island, because professions have no discrimination. If you are a person of profession, there's nobody that can sideline you. You will be able to contribute to the community here so that we can impact the reconciliation process in Liberia. Secondly, I want to strike a chord in this community. And being a pastor here for the last 15 years, I think I can speak to this. I am not saying this in any way to circumvent the process in our society or to support or give an audience to deadbeat fathers. But one of the things here that have been a setback to us here coming together is the ability of the Liberian community to diverge or disengage themselves into an area of this child support. It has made a lot of men fringed from their economic viability to their children. Sometimes they feel that they are hurting the man, but in actual essence they are hurting the child. So with these kind of issues in our community that undermine the process of our own rising, we cannot rise up because people are now going underground. They can't work because of child support. We are not saying that we condone those who are running away from child support,
but it also go against us as a community, that we are not able to settle our differences by sitting down and talking, and what capabilities we have. We have elders, we have people here who can help to bring those kind of process into a good viability, and I think it helps our community to foster togetherness, and with that we are able to move that into Liberia.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Bowen, I stand here to say thank you for coming to speak to us. My priority now is that people talk about health. JFK has been a hospital that was for the whole of West Africa. And right now, I think if the government could prioritize JFK, it will help one way in reconciliation. Instead of giving it to an individual or somebody to run, it would be good if it be prioritized. Because a lot of Liberians would like to go home, including myself. Go into the medical field and go back home to do something for our country. Our people are dying. People leave from here with falsified documents and offering treatment to people. So what I want you to do, for you to look into that aspect of it. Here we can't go to school except if we bring our documents, we got to go to their school. People leave from here with falsified documents and go and offer more wounds to our people than what they're giving them. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Point noted. The gentleman at the back will be the last, and can we just speed it up because no one should kindly add to the line that we're coming to.
Good evening, Honorable Gbowee. My name is Isaac Buya. I thank you for coming here and giving us the opportunity to see you in person and talk to you. I also thank Maggie for letting me know that you were here. I was on the 5:30 ferry when I got the news that you were here. When I first discovered you, I instantly became a fan of you and the women of your movement. And I tell you, I want to congratulate you for the work you have done and let you know that I appreciate the work you did for Liberia in bringing peace and saving lives.
Thank you.
And I also congratulate you for receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. You are a very clever and brave woman because you're clever in a way that when things were falling apart, you use your ingenuity to bring the people together, especially the women in your movement. One question I have for you is, how did these women balance their loyalty to the cause and their relationship to their husband, family members, and their jobs, especially those who were working in the child state government? The next thing is, I'd like to say to you, when you meet the president and you have the opportunity to meet the legislators, let them please work on the dual citizenship legislation, because there are qualified Liberians here. Many of our children, when we came here, they are born here. In the eyes of Liberians, they are so-called Congo people, and they are not Liberians, but truly they have a lot to offer, and it will help the economy of our country. Let people put all the fears aside. Okay. And the last thing is, I want to find out, what are you doing now that you have achieved one goal? What is your plan going forward? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. 2 minutes, please.
I want to thank you, Madam Bowe, for making Liberia proud. My name is John Manor. I'm a new guy on Staten Island, but I kind of feel very proud to come and stay here. I have one message to give you, saying you are representing the government of Liberia or whatsoever, that every day as I read the news, one of the most ugliest situation that comes from Liberia is corruption. Please, I want for you to please try to translate this message to the government, because I'm all the way on this side. I know my input is, please, from the janitors,
from the secretary in the government offices, everybody, not only the ministers, but people having a tendency of carrying on corruption. Corruption is eating the very fabric of the existence of Liberia. Please translate this message. Corruption should be eradicated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Gbowee. It's not a long explanation. Like a lot of us here, we went to school and got degree. I went to school, I got my first degree in pastoral care and counseling, youth and family ministry, and I got my second master in conflict management and mediation. My question is, how can I be a help to your mission in Liberia?
I will endeavor to answer these questions.
Thank you, Mother Gbowee, for coming here today. But my question is that, what assurance can you give us that your commission, your program, will not side with the government of Liberia? Because the TRC you're talking about, when I went to Liberia, our Ariata shop, we were discussing it. You cannot be a referee and at the same time be a player. So I will admonish you that since you embargo on the journey, because it is a 1,000-mile journey that you have begun with a single step, we need our the diaspora. We need to raise funds. If it costs us to raise funds for your program to go on, we'll raise that fund. But please do not side with the government.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir.
I'm going to show this guy now. Well, I said I want to congratulate you, Madam Gbowee. My name is Rufus Keme. I'm one of the casualties of the elections. I actually ran in Bong County, in Zota District to be exact. But in my campaign in Bong County, one of the things I saw is that the educational system is just completely zero. It reached to a point that going to school in Zota District, where I actually came from, is like 3 days of schooling. Friday has almost become a no school day in Liberia, and that's a serious problem. With the 15 years of civil war, we have always a lost generations, and without lost generation becoming parent, and their children don't have the know-how to go to school, that also becomes an issue. So if the Ministry of Youth and Sports had never done anything, my suggestion would be at least the Ministry of Youth and Sports be present in almost every county with serious programs.
Thank you, sir. Let's take from the next person.
Good evening, and welcome to Staten Island. It's as a friend of Liberia, just want to say that I'd like to work through my organization, Island Voice, as a community organizer, to help identify individuals within New York State that are in support of Liberia and that have been doing work with Liberia, so that we can help you achieve your goals and objectives. Thank you very much.
Hi, congratulations, and we welcome you. My name is Solomon Reeves. I'm a resident of Staten Island and also the chairman for the Unity Party New York chapter. My question is, you mentioned that the first group you contacted was the evangelical group of Liberia to get their view on the truth and reconciliation. I will also encourage you that Liberia is not for only Christian. Liberia is for Muslim as well. Liberia is for those who are not, even those who don't have any religion. So it would be good for us to also meet with our Muslim brothers, meet with our people who are also into the African religion, so that we'll be able to move forward with the peace process. Because Liberia is for all Liberians, whether you
Christian or Muslim, or you have no religion. So let's reach all those angles. Thank you very much.
Point noted.
Well, hello, Ms. Gbowee. Again, I want to welcome you to Staten Island on behalf of SILCA and everybody here. I just want to redirect our attention back to where we started from, is what we can do on Staten Island, in order to help and what's going on and what your movement is doing. And as a community, we cannot do anything if we are not engaged. And as all of you know here on Staten Island, it's always great when we have these things, but after this, nothing happens. Everybody goes back to doing what they're doing. Nobody goes to a community meeting. Nobody knows what's going on. And we bring the next person again, and everybody comes together. So in order for us to be effective and help you, I hope we use this inspiration as a means of coming together, okay? There are like probably 10 people here that you see in the monthly Liberian meeting. And after that, it's over. So we'll keep doing these things over and over, and we're not going to have a sustained impact unless the Liberian community on Staten Island, we take ourselves seriously and really engage and make some real impact, okay? So I hope we take that lesson from here today. All right, thank you.
Thank you all very much. I mean, this has been a really beautiful process. There are some questions that people ask, and I don't think we should spend a lot of time on it, but the one thing that I would like to say is that in the not-too-distant future, you're going to see the group from the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning, and the Governance Reform Commission. I don't know if they've reached out, but they're supposed to, because right now Liberia is at a place where they're visioning also how to take Liberia to another level as a productive country. So one of the ways my colleagues from that group referred to me, can you please be the John the Baptist, go ahead, talk about the reconciliation issue, and then we can come afterwards to talk about the issue of a vision for the country. Where do we see ourselves, like Sam was initially saying. So in the not too distant future, probably Minister Connor or Dr. Colley and Dr. Sawyer and co will be on their way back here. They should come. The one question that I would like to ask President Brown and his corps of officers and the religious community of Staten Island before going into some concluding comments, how do you or the leadership of this community intend to take off the reconciliation process in Staten Island? We've listened to people, some came with complaints. A lot of things is pointed towards a community that is deeply fragmented, a community that has its own issues, young people that are looking for leadership and direction. How can we take it off? How can your leadership take it off from here? Those are questions that I cannot answer. It's only this community that can answer those questions. People talk about wanting to come back home to give assistance. The question I always put to American audience when they say, how can we help? I put it back to them to say, how can you help your community? Before coming back home, before helping, how can you help in this community? How many after-school programs are Liberians in this community organizing for young children? How many support programs are we contributing to? These are things that we need to really talk about. People talk about ethnicity and religious intolerance. How tolerant are we in the diasporan community to each other? How tolerant are the Pele people to the Crown people, the Mandingo people to the Gio people? These are questions that we need to answer. Yes, we know that corruption is ingrained in our Liberian system, in the government system, in the civil society system, in every other system. The question to the leadership in this community, how are you showing example by having a corrupt-free community? President Brown, I don't mean to insult your hospitality, but I'm just saying, as all of these questions come out and as we all prepare to embark on the journey of reconciliation, there are some very tough questions that we need to ask ourselves, even as we ask people in Liberia. There were different things that came out on leadership issue, on different things, but I can tell you one thing, someone put a challenge. How sure are we that you will not ally yourself with the government? There have been opportunities. And I tell people, my colleagues are here to say it. Money never do the work. It's great ideas that bring the work. And once you have ideas, you always find money. The only people that can look quick for money from government are the people who want things beyond, what is right here. I don't have to stand here and say I want this process to be void of government's funding. But I realize that also for reconciliation to be really a serious business and for the cynicism to start, we need to be void of, we need to not take government money. We need to look for our own money. And I'm standing here. Government did not fund me. I came on different programs. There are ways that people can go around different things to make things effective. I said to the Swedish foreign minister when I was in Sweden the last time, he said, Leymah, we don't have a lot of money. I said, sir, one of the good things about coming from grassroots is that even small money looks big in your eye. So that is the way I operate. So that's the assurance. For different things, it's been a good time talking to you all. President Brown, we will do our notes from Staten Island. We will submit our notes to you on this conversation we've had. We'll do a report, give it to the president in Liberia, present it to the community. But it is my hope, as the one leading the Liberian Reconciliation Initiative, that together you all can sit and start a process of community reconciliation so that you can lead. Next week, Sunday, I'm going to be in the Philadelphia community doing this there. So this is something that if you can just say, I'm going to focus on Sam, is just here. And he's an expert. And I'm sure if you ask him, Sam, can you come and lead some consultation? One of the things Liberians have never had and we do not have is the culture of dialogue. Sitting and talking about our differences, we're all trying to get to each other's throat. That is one way you can begin the process here. Beginning a culture of dialogue within the Staten Island community. I like the way you took some of the bitter pills, like a true diplomat. People saying, you, President Brown, you therefore, But at the end of the day, being able to sit and listen, but not just sitting and listening, but also coming back and say, how do you think I can support the efforts of the community? My hope and prayer is that I can come back to Staten Island, work with young people, spend some time talking with the youth of this community, see how I can inspire them to want to do something. Because most times when young people see people, they say, oh, you just got there like this. Talk about some of the struggles of my own life and how it can serve as a form of inspiration to them. It's been a wonderful time. I want to say thank you, Mrs. Uboti. We will communicate back to you. Anya will take your email address and will communicate back to you on how your money will be spent. We will decide how we will spend your money and we'll communicate it back to you. And if you need report, we'll give it back to you. We will take a decision on it. Whatever way we decide to spend it, we will let you know how your money is going to be spent. But one thing I can assure you, I will not be taking it to Macy's to shop. Thank you all very much. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Gbowee. You've served us well, and we appreciate your being here a whole lot. You know, when the president came here, I told her that our community is a macrocosm of what's going on in Liberia. So the vision that may be perceived or that may be a reality here on Staten Island is just a reflection of what's happening in Liberia. We are not immune to what is going on in Liberia. People here are the same people in Liberia. So let me just say that to attempt to speak to some of the concerns that have been raised relative to our own community here. And my friends, you've done very well. Let's continue the dialogue. Come to a meeting the last Sunday every month and let's say more of what you've said here today. Do not only come here to say these good things when we have these big people. You know, as a community, we meet the last Sunday every month. Come this Sunday, say some of these things, and let us open and continue the dialogue, okay? 160 Parkhill Avenue in the recreation room. Hold on, who has me time? You see, that's an expression of the problem in the community. We all live here. We do not know that our meetings are the last Sunday every month at 4 o'clock. I understand some people are very busy. But come to your meetings, let us talk, let us reconcile, and let's make progress. And don't wait until my President Salif come or my Nobel Peace Prize will not come to come and talk all of what you want to talk about your community. Because you have 12 meetings in a year. Am I saying the truth? You have 12 fora in the year. Am I saying the truth? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, if I come with your dues and everything else. Okay, come with your dues. Let's pay our light bill at the office. Let's pay our internet bill and all of these things. But don't just wait for the big meetings to come and do the big talk. Thank you very much. We appreciate a whole lot what has happened here today. With that said, we're just going to turn over to our master of ceremony.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. We want to also thank our Sister Gbowee, for such brilliant answers. We'll now go to our vote of thanks. Use the mic. Oh.
Sorry. NPP, Nobel Peace Prize winner. Oh, Madam Nobel Peace Prize winner, Leymah Gbowee, President of the Liberian Ministerial Alliance, President Telly Brown. It's on there. Members of the Liberian Community Association Board, fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to apologize for being here in this form. I just arrived from Chicago. Our queen, Mrs. Hannah Tunis, she represented us, Liberian Community on Staten Island. President Telly Brown was part of that delegation from here. By the way, I'm the Eastern Regional Vice President of the Liberian Community. I will be in Philadelphia with you. As you said, I'm going to be there because it's also one of my chapters. But let me tell you, 2-3 years ago, I had the opportunity to view some of the program on the video. And I bought it. At the time, you were an emergent trailblazer. But today, you are a trailblazer. The Liberian community in the United States, by the name of ULA, Union of Liberian Association in America, joins the chorus of people to congratulate you on your nomination and winning the Nobel Peace Prize winner along with our President of Liberia, Her Excellency, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't here during your deliberation, but I had the opportunity to listen to you. And one of the items that you talked about, cultural dialogue, and I think it's necessary as Liberians that we need to work together to advance our country. President Telly Brown alluded to something that is very important. We have to be careful. We have to be very attentive. Let us attend meetings, not just waiting for high-profile people coming here and then coming to meeting. This is not a way we have to move forward. Now, I want to suggest that when you go to Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf should think of establishing within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs a Department of Diaspora Affairs. I believe with the establishment of the Diaspora Affairs within the Foreign Ministry, the networking between the diaspora and the Liberian government will be much more fruitful. Along that line, our President, Honorable Gay Slair, who personally asked me, as soon as I got down from the airport, I called him up. He asked me to, wish you good luck, and that the government, ULA, has set up what they call Diaspora Development Fund. This fund was launched last night. Every Liberian will be paying $10 per month, or you can pay $120 per year. We're going to establish what we call a board of trustee that will include Liberians and non-Liberians. So there are a lot of projects that we have on hand, but all these projects can be achieved through reconciliation. So not to consume most of your time, I want to say again, thank you very much for coming to the Liberian community. By the way, I'm here in dual capacity. I cannot just take my seat without saying that I work with the Councilor Telly Brown as the chairman of the council. And here with me, I have Brother Tunis, our cameraman, who is also the secretary. But let me just say that is Wita Bestman around?
Yes, she is.
Okay, she's our deputy foreign minister. So she also been working on it. Our lovely queen, can you please stand, please? This young lady has a bright future. She spoke eloquently last night at our inauguration. In fact, we had wanted you to be at our inauguration. But you know what? I will still meet you to that day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, for our pen. Excuse my voice when I have our vote of thanks. Do we have? I'm sorry. Do we have benediction? Do we have them mostly in the house? Do we have them mostly in the house?
Right here.
Animal. Okay. Okay, could you please?
There you go. Tunis, go to the honor. Go,
okay, you go. Okay, Grace, that's okay. We do have like refreshment in the hall. We do have light refreshment in the hall after the program.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and the most compassionate, all praise is due to you, the Lord of the world. You are the most gracious and the most merciful, and you are the only one we worship, and you are the only one we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path as you have guided those whom you have favored. Do not lure into a temptation or lure to astray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
I hail, Liberia, hail.